The claim is that a veteran running for the North Carolina Senate used a VA loan to buy a rental home or investment property. Does that violate VA rules? The claim comes from the head of Alamance County's Board of Commissioners, Amy Galey, who's currently running against J.D. Wooten for a seat in the North Carolina Senate. Galey says her campaign found Wooten purchased a home last year in Greensboro, not in the Senate district. Using public records, she learned that Wooten, an Air Force veteran, used a VA loan to buy the home on Lindale Street. But Galey says Wooten didn't claim the house as his residence.
The purpose of a VA loan is to help veterans be able to afford primary residences.
To find out if that's true, we contacted the Veterans Administration and asked, can a veteran use a VA home loan to purchase rental property? The VA responded no. The VA Home Loan Program is intended to assist veterans in obtaining a home that will serve as the veteran's residence and not as rental or investment property. A spokesman for the Galey campaign says J.D. Wooten rented the house he purchased with that VA loan. The spokesman showed us a rental listing for the house on Lindale Street.
It just raises a legitimate question in my mind whether or not he actually has lived up to the terms of the VA loan that he agreed to when he took it out.
And if he has not, what does that mean in your mind?
Well, in my mind, it would raise a question of fraudulent intent.
The deed of trust Mr. Wooten signed states that he would, quote, continue to occupy the property as borrower's principal residence for at least 1 year after the date of occupancy. Mr. Wooten told me by phone that he did not meet that requirement. However, while the VA says its loans are for vets to use as their primary residence, the VA also says there's nothing to stop vets from renting those homes. We asked the VA, if purchased as a primary residence, is there a time period, a holding time that they must hold the property before it can be used as a rental property? The VA responded, the veteran must certify occupancy when purchasing a home. However, there is no required time period for a veteran to occupy the property as a residence before it can be utilized as rental property. J.D. Wooten lists this rental home in McLeansville as his primary residence. It's located in the Senate district. He issued a statement in response to our story. Quote, it's shameful my opponent is resorting to baseless accusations and attacking a veteran for benefits earned through years of military service. Families are worried about whether to send their kids back to school or how to keep their loved ones safe and healthy. But instead of addressing those crises, my opponent is flinging mud based on nothing. Unlike her, I'll remain focused on the real issues at hand. Mr. Wooten also supplied a statement from the attorney who handled his mortgage. Quote, J.D. has complied with the terms of his loan and has not in any way breached the terms of his agreement with his lender. Any suggestion otherwise is not based in fact and is patently false. This race is one of a handful of races that could determine which party takes control of the North Carolina Senate next year. The current Senator Rick Gunn has announced his retirement, leaving this seat up for grabs. In Greensboro, I'm Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.